This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. I am here at Adventure Travel Sport Rentals. Since 2013, they have provided the freedom and convenience of a rig to explore and camp in the great outdoors. I'm here with Gaylord, who is the owner, outdoor enthusiast, travel guide, you name it. Share with us a little bit about yourself. Tell me how it is you got started, basically professionally helping folks out there in Colorado.
Well, me and a friend of mine from high school really love to camp, love off-road vehicles. So we saw a Sportsmobile. We wanted to buy one. We bought one and decided, hey, let's see if we can make a business out of this. Maybe rent it out to people when we weren't using it. And we started with the Sportsmobile. That went really well. First year just stayed booked up constantly. So we started getting more vehicles. So we ended up with the Tiger Adventure vehicle, which is another off-road 4x4 vehicle on a F350 chassis with integrated camper shell. That went really well as well. So then we decided, hey, let's start with some different types of vehicles. So people that don't want camper vans, maybe they want something smaller, something with a rooftop tent. We ended up getting like I said, 4Runners, like I said, Tacomas. We have a Tacoma. We have a couple of Tundras that we rent out as well with rooftop tents, and it's just grown from there.
And growing from there. Like you said, it started off with one, and so let's see if we can turn a business out of this. That's a great story. I mean, we live in basically the Midwest part of the nation, be it Colorado, Arizona, Utah. Folks that live in these areas, why do they tend to be outdoor enthusiasts, would you say? And why is this a great place to be one?
Well, like I said, there's just so much, forest land and BLM land where you can camp. You can go off, go out into the backcountry. You don't have to have like a campground or something where you're right next to someone with an RV, which is totally fine with a generator. You can go to the backcountry, find a good spot that's already been established, and you're away from everyone. You get to see a lot more wildlife. You get to just, go hiking. There's not as many people out. And that's one of the big draws of Colorado is just all of the forest land and all the places that you can go and get away from the crowds.
So you're talking about these are enthusiasts that don't want to be limited by where I-25 or even a road can take them.
Exactly.
They want to really explore the backcountry, and there's no better way to do it than a rig, like you guys say. I mean, an RV is for sightseeing, but a rig is for adventure. Exactly. Educate folks out there what a rig is. I mean, maybe somebody who's never even used one before. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, for us, a rig is something that's a full drive that you can take into the backcountry. You're not limited to campgrounds and RV parks. So you can go, just like I said, any 4x4 road that'll take you out into the backcountry. And a rig is, like I said, just something like that can get you to the backcountry spots that other vehicles just can't get to. And that's what we concentrate on is the 4x4 rigs, as opposed to just the regular RVs.
That is great. And like you said, you guys start out with one, but now we're talking about 4Runners, Tundras, Sprinters, even RV trailers. You pretty much have a little something for everybody. Is that the kind of your intent as you put this business together?
It really was because, initially when we were doing the Sportsmobile, the larger vehicles, not everyone wants to spend the money for the larger vehicles, and they don't really need that. They want to have a smaller, nimble vehicle that can go to even more places, that can get them farther into the backcountry, and that's why we started adding the 4Runners and the Tacomas and the Tundras, because those vehicles can get even farther into the backcountry and they can get to see a lot more stuff. And that's kind of our whole goal, was to make sure that we had vehicles for all the people that want to get out into the backcountry.
Now, a city guy like myself that doesn't go out and do this kind of thing, but you know what? I'm researching your company, I'm looking at it, and that looks like a lot of fun. Yeah. Are you here also to educate folks, kind of help them decide, which rig do I choose? Do you sit down with me, consult with me a little bit if I'm not sure, and kind of base it on the trip that I want to take?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So that's kind of one of the first things that we do is talk to the customer, find out what they're wanting to do, where they're wanting to go, the number of people in their party. That's going to determine which vehicle they're going to actually rent. Some people, like I said, a couple that's just two people that really want to get out there and get farther into the backcountry, they're going to probably want the 4Runner or the Tacoma. Those are going to get them, farther out there. Like I said, it's still got a rooftop tent, so you're still off the ground. You don't have to worry about setting up your tent in the middle of the night on the ground or whatever. The tents are super easy to set up, 2 to 3 minutes, and they're ready to go with nothing else to do besides just sit around the campfire and enjoy the evening. And then when you're ready to go to bed, jump into the tent and you're good.
That is excellent. I mean, based on the surrounding areas, I mean, do you go by the mileage, or is there a certain area people have to go, or does it kind of depend on a customized route, and then you kind of custom tailor the rate for that as well?
Well, yeah. So we allow 150 miles per day for free. So we just tailor the route, and we do custom itineraries for our customers. So people that come from out of the country or out of the state, they really don't know where they're going to go. They're not sure about the state. They don't know where all the good areas are at. Well, we go out and scout these areas for them. So we'll find the good camp spots. We'll find spots on top of ridge lines and things like that. If they want to go fishing, we'll send them to a spot where there's really good fishing. We have guides that we work with as well. So if they want to do a fly fishing trip, we have fly fishing guides that we work with. If they want to do mountain biking, we can do the same thing. We can send them to the great spots where you can go do mountain biking. So really, we can set up a trip for whatever they want to do, depending on what their skill level is and their experience in 4x4s.
Like you say, great for folks that are flying in a DIA right here. It's only a stone's throw away. We're talking about half an hour up the road here. They can come in and grab what they need. Folks out there maybe locally that maybe have their own automobile. Maybe they've got their own 4x4 and they just want to add maybe a tent to the top, or maybe throw an RV trailer on the back. Is that something you're able to provide for as well?
Oh, yes, for sure. So all of our rooftop tents, they're on our vehicles. We'll also go onto any other vehicles. So some people do have their own 4Runner or something like that. They'll rent the tent. We'll put it on for them. We'll still set up a trip for them if they want to. For any rental for a week or more, we provide free airport pickup and drop off. So, like I said, that's really a good draw for a lot of people. And once they get here, we set them up with the tent. They pull their vehicle in. We get it on top, and it usually takes about 15 to 20 minutes. And we set them up with their itinerary, and then they're off on the road. And it works out really good.
Makes it real convenient for the consumers out there. What I love about it is the fact that it's a risk-free way to try out some of these rigs. Yeah. I mean, before you go out and build your own or buy your own, it's kind of a risk-free way to see the different ones. Do you have clients probably that have tried maybe a couple?
Oh, yes. There's been people that have tried pretty much every vehicle we have. There's the ones that really are trying vehicles out before they buy them. These vehicles they're great vehicles, but they're not your typical RV. So to spend the amount of money you're going to spend on one of these vehicles, a lot of people want to try them out first. And that's where probably 30 to 40% of our clients come from, is just people trying our vehicles out before they buy them.
Like you say, many of the folks out there end up loving it. Then they decide, hey, I want to build one of these myself. Yep. Custom builds. I mean, that's something you guys right up your alley. Are you able to help them there as well?
Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we will do custom builds for clients. We're actually working on a Tundra right now for a client out of California. And we'll do pretty much anything they want to do. I mean, the lift kits, the suspensions, like I said, rock rails for, like when they're off-roading, pretty much everything that goes with overlanding vehicles, we will do for a vehicle. And we've done quite a few. And we've had a lot of luck with that.
That is very cool. I mean, this is talk about taking your 4x4 to the next level.
Exactly.
That's doing it. You guys specialize in Toyotas, but you're really able to take any 4x4 out there and add to it, be it suspension, custom drawers, even light bars, those type of things. I imagine your before and after pictures are pretty cool once you hand these things back to them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, that's one of the big things is, a lot of them want pictures as we're working on it, and I try to kind of keep them away from that. I'm like, how about this? I'll send you one every stage we get to, we'll send you a picture, but we'd like to have you see the vehicle before, and then when you show up afterwards, and most people are just blown away by the stuff that we can do to a vehicle and turn it into an off-roading, overlanding vehicle. There's so many things out there now because it's becoming such a big thing here in the United States now. So.
Wow, that is exciting. I mean, you've got 6+ years of doing this professionally now. I mean, for the first time when you had your first one and found out this is going pretty good, you probably have built up a pretty good network of partners.
Yes.
Companies that provide a lot of these parts and products for you. I imagine if you don't have it here, you can probably find it for them. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. With some of the partners that we work with, like I said, here locally, we try to work with a lot of local partners. Like say there's partners that we have, Toy Tech. which is pretty much everything dealing with Toyotas. They provide a lot of our equipment for us, and they're a great company. I mean, they've been around quite a while, and there are quite a few other companies around that we work with as well. So anything you want to do with your vehicle, we can provide that for you for sure.
That is excellent. I imagine most of these outdoor enthusiasts who have their own rig, they try to get out as often as possible, but man cannot live on outdoor enthusiasts alone. Sometimes they can't use it. Share with me your consignment program. Maybe they've got a rig and they're like, hey, I'd like to make a few dollars on this. Well, I'm not using it.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that's taken off for us really well. Right now, we do have 3 consignment vehicles. We have one here in Colorado, and it's a Tundra with a Hallmark camper on it. And we also have one in California, Laguna Niguel, and that's a Winnebago Rebel. It's a 4x4. And we also have one in Las Vegas, which is another Winnebago Rebel 4x4. So those are people that, you know what, they're using it 3 or 4 times a year, and instead of having it sit in their garage collecting dust, they're using us to rent them vehicles out for them. And that just supplements, you know, their cost for the vehicle. So everyone that's done it has loved it, and even if they do get rid of their vehicle, they'll usually buy another one and put it back into the fleet because they're making their money back off of that vehicle. So it works out really well for both parties.
A win-win opportunity for both. Absolutely. I mean, for you, basically, it's a situation where for the customers out there, it's less time setting up camp and more time exploring.
Exactly.
Does this continue to be rewarding for you as you see people go out there and maybe enjoy parts of this nation that maybe they would have not have enjoyed before?
For sure. I mean, this is literally the best job I've ever had. I mean, I love doing it. I love getting people into this. Some people come out, they have no idea. They've never really been off-roading, and we really start them out really light, you know, on some 4x4 roads, really mild 4x4 roads or forest roads. But getting them into it and making it really safe and fun for them makes them come back and say, wow, that was really fun, but now I want to go a little bit farther, and I want to do these trails. And that's what's really nice, is to see the people grow from someone that has never done this before to wanting to do it themselves, or even after 2 or 3 trips say, hey, you know what, I'm going to buy a vehicle and I'm going to give it to you, have you turn it into an overlanding vehicle for me, and then I'm going to put it into the fleet and use it whenever whenever we need to use it, and then let you rent it out for us. So it works out really well for us.
They walk in pretty timid, maybe never tried it before, and they walk out as an adventure seeker, and we've done it. Sure. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, you can take a look at some of their fleet they've got. I mean, that's obviously always changing, but you can take a look at some of these rigs, if you will, that you can go out and explore the backcountry with. Also, check out their Facebook page there. They'll keep you apprised of some of the projects they're working on. They got some great custom builds. You can see the before and the afters, and find out if this is something you maybe like to try out yourself. If you're not sure, you've never done it before, he will set up an entire, really a travel guide for you. Find out where you want to see. Beautiful area of Colorado here, but depends on how far you want to go. This is somebody who has been there and done that, started out with his own rig, and now he's sharing his experience with the folks out there across Denver as well. Once again, that is Adventure Travel Sport Rentals, located right here in Wheat Ridge. Adventure seekers wanted. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.